This is about transparency. This is about accountability to the people.
Tonight, more questions are being asked about the FSIN's finances just one day before Election Day. Saskatchewan RCMP confirm human remains have been found northeast of Lloydminster.
Visitors can come in, learn about the history of the Métis community here.
And the Métis Nation of Ontario unveils their new heritage centre in Sault Ste. Marie. Good evening, I'm Kristinach Gate. Welcome to APTN National News. Just days before the Federation of Sovereign Indigenous Nations election, the Saskatoon Tribal Council held a press conference to raise questions about spending discrepancies within the organization. James Smith Cree Nation also expressed concerns over funds they say that they never received. APTN's Rachel May has more.
This is about transparency. This is about accountability to the people, the grassroots people of the First Nations people, but also to the non-Indigenous people, because this is Canada's money that's supposed to be here for people, and we need to be accountable and transparent for it.
In March, Indigenous Services Canada ordered a forensic audit of FSIN spending from April 1st, 2019 to present. These audits can be used to gather evidence for possible legal proceedings. Yesterday, Saskatoon Tribal Chief Mark Arcand presented a 153-page internal FSIN audit that ended on March 31st, 2023. He claimed that the 74 chiefs in the Assembly never received this document before making important financial decisions. APTN has not been able to obtain copies of this audit, and Chief Arcand would not share it when asked.
What we get is the annual report, which does not have all the information. Now, FSIN will tell you this audit was passed by the Chiefs in Assembly, and yes, it has been. However, I guarantee you, if the Chiefs had this proper documentation, they would have asked the same questions I'm revealing today in regards to this.
Arcand stated that FSIN is a $50 million organization with $14 million in deferred revenue, payments received for undelivered services. Another issue was a $2 million cash lease. Arcand mentioned FSIN lacked the home source revenue to make that payment. Chief Kirby Constant of James Smith Cree Nation also weighed in. He presented documents showing that during the COVID-19 pandemic, ISC sent $5.5 million for personal protective equipment for their members on and off reserve to the FSIN. Chief Constant and his band never got that money. Instead, FSIN sent them to an account in Ontario that never provided James Smith Cree Nation with the necessary pandemic supplies.
I sent emails to Bobby Cameron, chief of FSIN at the time, asking them for what was going on. All I was told, FSIN flowed $5.5 million to this numbered account in Ontario.
Chief Constant discovered something else.
I finally got the documents last week where it said $6.5 million was transferred from ISC to FSIN, not $5.5 million.
Chief Constant says there's no clarity on where that other $1 million went. This news came out just 2 days before the FSIN election on October 31st in Saskatoon. Incumbent FSIN Chief Bobby Cameron has not commented. Rachel May, APTN National News, Saskatoon.
A Conservative candidate who sparked controversy on the eve of the October 19th election in British Columbia did not win her Vancouver Island riding after a recount. Dr. Marina Sapochnikov made several racist remarks against Indigenous people, including calling them savages, in an interview with a university student earlier this month. Election night results showed Sapochnikov narrowly lost the newly created riding of Wandafuka-Malahat to NDP candidate Dana Lejeunesse by 113 votes. The tight numbers triggered a manual recount, which included mail-in and absentee ballots. The recount showed Sapochnikov lost the riding by 141 votes. Conservative leader John Rustad criticized Sapochnikov's comments and said she wouldn't be running again. Sapochnikov has since apologized for her comments and admits she will not run in politics again. Saskatchewan RCMP have confirmed they found human remains near Lloydminster earlier this week. On Monday, October 28th, Maidstone RCMP received a report that human remains were found in a rural area in the RM of Britannia. It's a large stretch of land northeast of Lloydminster between the city and the North Saskatchewan River. RCMP are now working with the Saskatchewan Coroner Service to identify the remains and determine the cause of death. Maidstone RCMP have notified the families of missing persons in the area about the discovery and will update them as the investigation continues. Marvin Misto believes the remains belong to his son, 28-year-old Surain Kimach, who went missing on April 10th after leaving a gas station in Alcurve, Alberta. Family believes Kimach may have tried to hitchhike home to Onion Lake First Nation. As of yet, the unidentified remains were found about 30 kilometers east of where Kimach was last seen. The Comox Valley Regional District in BC is apologizing to the Comox First Nation this week for damaging several of its cultural heritage sites. The damage happened last year during the construction of the Denman Crossing Island Trail that included building a 3.5-kilometer gravel trail that stretched east to west on the island. The district said it caused unnecessary harm and the damage could have been prevented if proper procedures were followed. The First Nation on Vancouver Island and the district are now working closely to prevent similar incidents from happening. They are starting work on fixing the damage, and the district says they will help the First Nation pay for the repairs. Yesterday, we told you the story of 100 members from the Saddle Lake Cree Nation who traveled to the Alberta legislature to ask for a meeting with the Governor General of Canada. They say the federal government is not honoring the treaties and want the Governor General to help. Saddle Lake Cree Nation Chief Jason Whiskey Jack and other Indigenous leaders were giving some time to speak to her. Chief Whiskey Jack and Councillor Pauline Hunter join me now from Saddle Lake Cree Nation to tell us more about the meeting. Chief Whiskey Jack and Councillor Pauline Hunter, thank you so much for talking to us today. My first question is, why did you choose to talk to the Governor General, Mary Simon, instead of the Ministers of Indigenous Services and Crown Indigenous Relations?
I think the reason why we wanted to talk to the Governor General is because we wanted to make our treaty stance nice and clear. We didn't sign any treaties with any organizations like AFN or the Government of Canada. So we basically wanted to make that statement loud and clear.
Yourself and many of your band members traveled 2 hours to come to the Alberta legislature to talk with the Governor General. Were you able to have that one-on-one conversation with her?
Yes, I had my one-on-one conversation with her for a half hour yesterday, and it was actually a really good meeting. You know, what the message we wanted to give to the Governor General was taken well, and basically I think in the near future we're going to be moving forward with some of the issues that we need to deal with our treaties.
Are you able to speak to those issues? What issues did you discuss with her?
Some of the current bills and legislation that's been passed, those are some of the issues that we're actually dealing with, and you know, we want to be heard. I think the reminder to Canada is that when we signed treaties, we honored our treaties, and now we're given that option for them to honor their part of the treaties, to honor us Indian people.
Councillor Pauline Hunter, do you feel like it was a productive meeting on your end?
Yes, I actually do, and I'm very proud of our nation for coming together to stand in unity and to represent and to show that we all are very concerned and we care about our children, our families, our future, those yet unborn. And it's to serve as a reminder to everybody that we have a treaty, a sacred treaty and covenant with the Crown. And I think at the same time, it's a reminder to the Governor General, as she is the Crown's representative, that there is a lot of unfinished business that needs to be discussed. And we want our treaty funding and our relationship to be direct with the Crown. And we want a meeting with the King, with the Crown as well. And there's going to be, you know, I think in terms of moving forward, the expectation is we're going to be commemorating 150 years coming up in 2026. We want to rekindle that relationship. We want to invite, you know, the crown back to our nation. In 1976, the crown Queen Elizabeth, I believe, was here in our nation to commemorate 100 years of treaty making. So we need to come to a mutual understanding of what the treaty really means to us.
And really briefly, did the Governor General make any commitments?
The Governor General made some commitments and moving forward to actually, you know, working on some of, I guess, the dynamics of how we're going to be working with our agreements and everything else, and especially, you know, for us to actually draft up something that within a letter form to actually deliver that message to the King on our behalf as treaty people. And that's probably one of the best news that we Saddle Lake band members have for our nation, is to get the message directly to the King. And I really want to acknowledge and thank her for that.
Chief Whiskey Jack and Councillor Pauline Hunter, will have to leave it there. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
We're always looking for your feedback or story ideas. Here's how you can continue the conversation with us. If you have a story you want to share, send us an email to news@aptn.ca. To read and watch our stories, go to aptnnews.ca. You can also find us online on your favorite social media sites, including TikTok, LinkedIn, and X. And you can watch this newscast anywhere, anytime on YouTube. Follow APTN News to join the conversation and see our latest stories. Yukon University has a reason to celebrate. We'll tell you why. Plus, the Métis Nation of Ontario is celebrating with a new heritage centre in Sault Ste. Marie. We're back in about 3 minutes.
Visitors can come in, learn about the history of the Métis community here, the history of the Powley case, and then, you know, community members can take part in workshops and, you know, all sorts of things here on site.
Welcome back. An organization representing Canadian universities will now have a northern voice. Yukon University joined Universities Canada Tuesday, making it the 97th member to do so. Located in Whitehorse, Yukon University is the only university in Canada's north. It offers a mix of trades, college-level programs, and university degrees designed to meet the needs of northern communities. President and Vice Chancellor Leslie Brown says their membership allows the university to offer students nationally accredited credentials and degree programs.
Yukon University is an institution that is shaped by, has been visioned by, and every day we strive to uphold perspectives of First Nations people, particularly Yukon First Nations people. So that means that we can bring our unique voice, our unique contribution, and help shape national dialogues. So we are absolutely over the moon by this opportunity.
Congrats, Yukon University. The Métis Nation of Ontario is celebrating what it calls a first-of-its-kind facility in the province. The MNO says the Sault Ste. Marie Métis Heritage Centre will serve as a permanent home for the stories, culture, and history of the local Métis community. APTN's Mike McDonald reports.
The Sault Ste. Marie Métis Heritage Centre held its grand opening earlier this month. The councillor for the Huron-Superior Métis community in Northern Ontario is inviting everyone to see it.
Visitors can come in, learn about the history of the Métis community here, the history of the Powley case, and then, you know, community members can take part in workshops and, you know, all sorts of things here on site.
The Powley case is prominently featured at the centre, which is regarded by the Métis as a landmark legal victory that affirmed their rights. The Powley exhibit also focuses on the life of Steve Powley himself. Inside one display case rests a single Nielsen Jersey Milk chocolate bar. The story goes that Powley, upon learning of his lawyer's sweet tooth, would have a Jersey milk chocolate bar waiting for her at the beginning of every court date throughout the Powley case.
You know, so much of you know, the story of the Powley case gets wrapped up into the legal implications of it, and all of that's really important. But I never want us to lose sight of the fact that Steve was just a Métis guy trying to live his life and trying to feed his family, and that he was a real person.
I think it's incredibly exciting to see what the Métis community in Sault Ste. Marie have built.
Margaret Froh, president of the Métis Nation of Ontario, says the centre's grand opening comes during a turbulent time for the organization.
The story that is told in the new Sault Ste. Marie Métis Heritage Centre is a quintessential Métis story of resistance, of proud Métis communities, of acts of resistance, of just perseverance and resilience as the Crown continuously pushed us off land, pushed us out into the margins. But the community continued, not only survived, but is actively thriving.
I saw nothing but hundreds of smiling Métis faces who know their history, know their stories. They're not scared. They're, annoyed and disheartened a little bit by, the tone of the rhetoric. But, they're proud of who they are, and they know that they're not going away, and that this place will be the safe home for all those stories that give them that confidence.
Mike McDonald, APTN National News, Sault Ste. Marie.
Coming up next, we have photo of the day and weather, plus Tina House caught up with a number of organizations in Vancouver who are helping to feed the public. That story when we're back in less than 3 minutes.
It's great, I grew up in poverty, so I know what it's like to go to sleep with an empty belly, and these guys make sure that they don't go to sleep hungry.
Welcome back. It's time that for the photo of the day. I can't talk today. Oh my gosh. Halloween is tomorrow, and Ryan Schubert is getting in the spirit with a pumpkin carving of a Métis flag. Thanks for sharing, Ryan. We want to see what you're doing for your spooky day. Make sure to email us a picture of your carvings, costumes, or decorations to share at aptn.ca. Now let's take a look at tomorrow's weather forecast. Starting on the east, 18 in Charlottetown, 18 in Halifax. Happy Valley Goose Bay, +8, Cartwright 9. Quebec City, 18, Montreal, 22. Windsor, 22, North Bay, 18. 15 in Sudbury, Thunder Bay, 5. -7 in Churchill, Thompson, -5. 8 in Winnipeg, Princess Harbour, 3. 8 in Regina, Saskatoon, 7, partly cloudy. La Ronge, -1, Stony Rapids, -9. Rain in Peace River at 2, high level, -4. Medicine Hat, 6, Red Deer, -1. Vancouver, 10, Bella Coola, 6. 5 in Smithers, Dees Lake, -3. Whitehorse 0, Mayo, -8. -3 in Yellowknife, Wrigley, -6. -11 in Nuvik, Colville Lake, -7. Chesterfield, -4, Baker Lake, -7. A society in Vancouver has partnered with other non-profits to have community barbecues that serve hundreds of people twice a week. But as APTN's Tina House explains, serving food is not all the society does to help and give back.
All right, folks, I just want to take a moment to recognize this moment. We are about to serve our 500,000th meal. That's 500,000 meals we've served since we started. This is our 500,000th meal about to be served, and I just want to take a moment to celebrate that, and if you want to celebrate it with us. So, yeah!
And Yvette Redcrow is the 500,000th recipient today.
Thank you. It's an essential service for everyone. Thank you.
The Heart Tattoo Society started serving these community barbecues during COVID. And now, 3 years later, they are still here and growing. Every Monday and Thursday, chefs create gourmet meals. And on today's menu, they are serving turkey, pork, chicken parmigiana, stir-fried beef vegetables, rice, salad, fruit, and garlic bread. Francis Guerrero works at the Aboriginal Front Door Society. He says he looks forward to these community barbecues every week.
It's great, you know. I grew up in poverty, so I know what it's like to go to sleep with an empty belly, and these guys make sure that they don't go to sleep hungry. They're fed really well. Like, these guys provide great meals like every time they show up, and it's never the same. It's always very tasty.
And one of those chefs who also makes all the sauces, among other things, is Tene Chapudla. He's originally from Zimbabwe. He came to Canada 2.5 years ago and started volunteering with the Heart Tattoo Society, and now works full-time with them.
I started by doing sandwiches, then we started doing barbecue prep. It was awesome. It was great. And thinking about it, the way we've grown, it's totally amazing. We use food from food recovery. You wouldn't expect to get, you know, as many meals out or as many good meals out as we do, but because we have so many shifts on our team, it's amazing how people come together.
The Heart Tattoo Society began with a dream by founder Mackenzie Baxfield and her partner Evan, and she's proud to see how many people they have been able to help.
COVID hit, it was a real fear. It made me nervous and upset knowing that the downtown east side didn't have as many resources as it did before they made it another state of emergency. So I kind of freaked out a little bit, and I went to all my friends and I said, what are we going to do about the downtown east side? How are we going to help? And so this came to be.
It's expanded beyond where we're serving food for multiple organizations, making sandwiches, doing a grocery hamper program, free grocery store, storefront, and more.
And just a block away is the Downtown Eastside Distribution Hub, a place the Society runs in partnership with the Overdose Prevention Society, where anyone can get free clothes, household items, and food.
Everything is heart-centered. They hire from the community. They sent me back to school when I wanted a break from the Downtown Eastside. And, you know, they came to my graduation. They really are. It's like a big family.
And back at the barbecue.
That looks good. Wow.
The Heart Tattoo Society serves between 400 to 600 people at each barbecue. Tina House, APTN National News, Vancouver.
Right on, Heart Tattoo Society. We appreciate your work. And that's your evening newscast for this Wednesday, October 30th, one day before Spooky Day tomorrow. We're back again for your midday newscast tomorrow. Make sure to join us then. From everyone at APTN National News, hi, miigwech, masicho. Thank you for watching. We'll see you again next day.